Next one, let's talk about skin infections. You might have heard about different types of skin infection. For us, one of the important one is cellulitis. Cellulitis. You know already it is a subcutaneous under the skin, subcutaneous. Mainly caused by streptococcus, that is group A streptococcus, group A beta hemolyticus and staphylococcus. These two bacteria are responsible for causing what? Cellulitis. You will have a red tender, diffusely demarcated, not well, it will be not well demarcated, it will be diffusely demarcated, and here the site of entry will be positive. You can see that the skin, the organism entered, like you can see in that macroscopic picture or microscopic picture, the site of entry will be what? Positive for cellulitis. How you diagnose cellulitis? Completely it is clinical. You will see the patient, clinical scenario you will see. In some cases, you go for ultrasound, you see cobblestoning appearance. Cobblestoning appearance. Remember, if a patient comes to you with cellulitis in the skin, I am sure that you have seen this. They will have an like red inflamed area. Actually, this red inflamed area, the periphery, it is caused by the streptococcus, and inside you will have pus. Pus is by staphylococcus. Normally in your internship and all, when you are going for derma, they will make a scale and mark the patient, mark the borders of this erythema. And we give what? First you mark the borders and you give antibiotic. Next day you come and check, you will check that the erythema has decreased or not. If they are decreased means antibiotic is working. They still remain same means what? There is a problem in antibiotic you have given, you have to change it or go for other things. Normally some people going for diagnosis, they will take a swab. Never do it. Don't take a swab or something from there. You are mixing all the skin and all the microbes that will cause sepsis or that will cause you polymicrobial infection. So for cellulitis, it is not a good idea to take a swab that can result in what? Polymicrobial infection. So never go for swab and all thing. Do clinical. For confirming, you can do some ultrasound. Then do this, give antibiotic. We can classify the cellulitis into two types. One is called toxic one, other is called non-toxic. Of course, toxic means there is sepsis occurs. Non-toxic means like there is no sepsis, something like that. There is no big deal. In non-toxic, we have strep and staphylococcus. Staphylococcus. If someone have strep and non-toxic, just to give what? First generation cephalosporin. That's all needed here. And for staphylococcus, I'm sorry. So non-toxic, for streptococcus we give what? First generation cephalosporin. So for staphylococcus, TMP, SMX as well as clindamycin. Not Vango, you can give here for non-toxic clindamycin. Sorry, like for anaerobic coverage, right? For toxic we have to add something more, some more powerful drug. Like for streptococcus, I can add here like piperazolin, tazobactam, or tazobactam, or I can add ampicillin, sulfabactam, that is for toxic. Too much deal here for strep. For staphylo, we need more drug. For staphylo, we need what? More drug. Here we can add the powerful one, vancomycin and clindamycin. Sometimes you can add here also what? Penicillin. So that's how you treat toxic type of skin infection, that is cellulitis, and what? Non-toxic, for treating the two classification. Next one, sometimes this skin infection, they will affect your bone. That condition is simply known as osteomyelitis. Osteomyelitis. Mainly they affect your metaphysis of the bone. Metaphysis. They will spread by blood, like hematological transmission, or like you can say direct inoculation will occur. Direct inoculation. So the blood, bone myelo means what? Bone marrow will be what? Inflamed. So you will have like painful bone. Very common in diabetic patient or immunocompromised. In diabetics or in patient who are already having what? Cellulitis, you can have this. Most common bacteria is Staph aureus. Most common is Staph aureus. But there are some special cases like sickle cell anemia. If a patient has sickle cell anemia and he is having what? Osteomyelitis, it will be salmonella. Salmonella. And in diabetic also it can be caused by some like pseudomonas or polymicrobial infection. Now, for diagnosing osteomyelitis, it's very easy, a bone problem. If they ask you initial, for sure you can go for what? X-ray. But if they ask you in the exam, accurate will go with MRI. And if they ask you the best one is always what? Biopsy. Even you can go for bone scan, but that will not be an answer in any exam. X-ray, MRI or biopsy. So that's about osteomyelitis and how you treat that osteomyelitis. Treatment, first you do what? If the bone is like necrotized, do what? Debridement. And give them what? Antibiotics. Like vancomycin you can give. Then piperacillin, tazobactam. So this is how you treat a patient who is having what? Osteomyelitis. That can be a complication of cellulitis, or in diabetic patient, bone is affected, right? So we must be very careful. The bone will be completely damaged. Now, in some people, there is something called, you might have heard about, gas gangrene. Gas gangrene. It is completely caused by an anaerobe, obligate anaerobe, that is called Clostridium perfringens. Clostridium perfringens. In the wound, they will cause you necrosis as well as dark gray deposition, and gas, that is called gas gangrene or crepitation. We call it as crepitation. So that is about, like in the X-ray, you will see every time crepitation. Think about gas gangrene, Clostridium perfringens. For treating that, we use clindamycin. Because anaerobe, always you cover anaerobe by clindamycin, and you can give even what? Penicillin here. It's a good antibiotic that will give coverage for what? Gas gangrene. And what is the other one? That is the most severe one here. That is called necrotizing fasciitis. Necrotizing fasciitis. Actually, it is a severe form of cellulitis. Severe form of cellulitis. It is also caused by, as we said, streptococcus, group A streptococcus and staphylococcus. But if you compare, this is more common causative organism, staphylococcus. If you take a biopsy there, you can see necrotized, necrosis of what? Dense connective tissue, complete necrosis happen. And this is also diagnosed clinical scenario. See, pain will be out of proportion. Pain out of proportion. Like you can't imagine, patient will be crying with pain, right? Pain out of proportion. Here also you can have what? Crepitation. Crepitation, that is gas in X-ray. And in the tissue there will be specific color. They will give you purple, blue color deposition, purple, blue color deposits, and gas in the X-ray, same like what? Gas gangrene, but they are so powerful. You see, pain out of proportion. You can't imagine even. The pain will go out of. So other things will look like around, but remember this purple blue color and pain out of proportion, severe painful, and as well as complete necrosis of what? Dense connective tissue occurred here. Now, for treating necrotizing fasciitis, I think I can add here. Sorry, I'll be adding here. Necrotizing fasciitis, that is the most severe one. First, I should debride the wound. Debridement of wound. Then I will add third generation cephalosporin. Then clindamycin. You can add ampicillin and piperacillin, tazobactam. All the things are covered here. That much powerful. Tazobactam. Of course, for step aureus, I should give what? Vancomycin. So most severe one is what? Necrotizing fasciitis. That is the last stage in a person. So that skin infection will be should be very. So remember, debridement, third generation cephalosporin, clindamycin to cover the anaerobe, ampicillin, streptococcus, and piperacillin, tazobactam. Then vancomycin for staphylococcus aureus. This much antibiotic you will be giving to cover what? Necrotizing fasciitis. The main buzzword here, pain out of proportion. So that's all about skin infections we have to know. Thank you.